Good evening. Police are searching for suspects and the community is searching for answers after a 16-year-old boy was shot and killed in Scarborough.
Kian Sam was gunned down inside of a Tim Hortons in the area of Lawrence and Bellamy Road yesterday afternoon. CTV's Allison Hurst is following this investigation and joins us now live. Allison, you've been speaking with those who knew the teen.
That's right, Zoraida. We've been talking to some friends of him who describe him as a funny, outgoing, and yes, an excellent basketball player as well. They say that he played on the school team here at one point, but they also said that they hadn't seen him in the last year. Remembered as a gifted basketball player, police say 16-year-old Kian Sam was Toronto's second homicide victim of the year.
It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, but it was I don't know. It was a bit sad, that's all.
News of his death shocking students who say they went to school with him at Agincourt Collegiate Institute and friends like Neve Villas.
He was outgoing and stuff. He's quite funny and I don't know. He was just a really cool person overall. He was chill and stuff.
He was a good friend of mine. Really good person. Really good basketball player too.
Sam was shot yesterday inside the Tim Hortons at Lawrence Avenue East and Bellamy Road North shortly after 4 p.m.
The victim, who was a teen, was transported to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries.
Police say there had been staff and other customers there at the time, but nobody else was injured.
I feel sorry for the family first, and then, so many little babies come over here every day because they have kids' meal and everything. And then I can't even believe,
Officers investigated the scene throughout the night, and by morning, though the tape was down, the restaurant remained closed.
That's so sad to hear. Yeah. I live nearby.
It's a nice neighborhood, and it's very good community.
Everybody has to be really careful. For a teenager that could be killed in Tim Hortons.
Students say Sam was in grade 11, had previously played on the school basketball team, but that they hadn't seen him at school this year.
Yeah, feeling scared and stuff. And some people are even scared to talk about it in front of others. They're scared, some people might hurt them, or they think they shouldn't be talking about it.
In September 2022, Sam participated in Chris Paul's CP3 National Middle School Combine East Region event in Atlanta, Georgia. The leadership team there says in part, during his time on the court with us, Kian showed a genuine love for basketball and brought tremendous effort and energy to the floor. Our thoughts are with Kian's family, friends, teammates, and the entire Toronto basketball community.
I know that he's a really good basketball player. He was always really nice, and he just spread kindness.
Police did not provide a description of who they are looking for, only saying the suspect or suspects fled. Police have not told us what details or any circumstances that led up to the shooting. We asked them for an updated interview today, but they declined. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Zoraida, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. Bail has been denied for a Toronto police officer implicated in a wide-ranging criminal probe in York Region, which saw 7 active TPS officers arrested.
As part of the continuing fallout from Project South, which has also seen 3 Peel police officers suspended but not charged. CTV's John Musselman has been following this story and joins us live with more details. John.
Well, that's right. This has expanded to Peel Regional Police, and also there was a bail hearing today for one of the officers, Nathan. He is one of the key figures in this case, and today he was denied bail in a Toronto courtroom. 56-year-old Constable Tim Barnhart is one of 7 current Toronto police officers accused in a massive police corruption case. As we learned yesterday, it involves allegations including bribery, shootings, and even attempted murder. In this police video, 3 suspects were arrested after allegedly trying to kill a corrections manager outside his York Region home last June. His personal information was allegedly leaked by Barnhart to organized crime members. Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew tells Newstalk 1010 today his emotions range from pain and disappointment to anger.
Been aware of this investigation, as you know, for quite some time, and there's been a roller coaster of emotions that you go through as a professional police officer with these types of allegations.
This criminal defense lawyer says the allegations and the range of police officers charged is significant.
You look at the ranks of those officers, the age of those officers, and their tenure of service. I mean, this scandal, these corruption allegations go all the way essentially to the the tops of the echelons here. We've got sergeants, veterans of the police force. We've got retired officers. And then we've got officers at the bottom who are in their early 20s, who likely have been officers for just a couple of years and are just low-level constables.
Chief Demkew and the Toronto Police Services Board has asked the Inspector General of Policing in Ontario to launch an independent investigation. But that decision is being questioned. The current inspector, Ryan Teschner, is the former executive director and chief of staff of the Toronto Police Services Board. The mayor and the premier were both asked about it today.
I don't get involved in police matters. I don't direct the police. I fully support Chief Demkew and Chief McSween. I'm unwavering in supporting our police officers.
The residents of Toronto deserve to know that the police officer that they deal with every day can be trusted.
In a statement released to CTV this afternoon, a spokesperson for the Inspector General wrote that if a decision is made to initiate an inspection, appropriate safeguards, including those set out in the Community Safety and Policing Act, will be implemented to ensure the work is done in a manner that is objective and impartial. We also learned today that 3 Peel officers have been suspended in connection with the ongoing investigation. And the 7 Toronto officers are suspended until these criminal charges are dealt with in court. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. A 14-year-old has been charged in connection with a false threat made against a school in Oshawa. Police were called to Harmony Heights Public School around 2 p.m. yesterday for reports of a shooting. They eventually learned the call was a prank. A 14-year-old has since been arrested and charged with criminal harassment, mischief, and endangerment. Durham Regional Police Chief Peter Moreira posted about the incident, writing, "These incidents are not jokes. They cause fear and divert police from real emergencies. Parents and guardians, please speak with your children."
Still to come, the opening ceremonies for the Milan Cortina Winter Games were held this afternoon. We'll have more on the official kickoff to the global sporting event a little later in the newscast. Well, the Premier and the Mayor were both on hand this morning for the ribbon-cutting ceremony ahead of the official start of service for the Eglinton Crosstown LRT on Sunday.
The light rail is set to begin service after years of delays, and local residents are weighing in on the project. CTV's Sean Leathon has been speaking with people about the imminent opening and joins us live with more. Sean.
Well, Nathan, I spoke to many businesses in the area here of Eglinton and Dufferin, and though many are excited that this will open very soon, the scars are showing. As the LRT station at Eglinton and Dufferin waits to open its doors, the effect of how this line came to be can be told through the businesses nearby.
Pretty excited for the LRT to open, to be honest.
I think it's a great opportunity for businesses.
So hard. We struggle a lot.
Eglinton Fast Food Inc. has been open 17 years, 1 year before LRT construction began. Co-owner Susan Bazarte says they suffered losses for 3 years while construction was in the area, so the LRT opening seems surreal.
Sometimes I don't believe now.
Latino on Eglinton has been open 40 years, and Maria Valencia says the constant delays put a strain on everyone's bottom line.
They were supposed to be 2 years, but then they said that they have some difficulties, so then they extended for another 2 years and then another 2 years.
She says sidewalks around here were cut off from parking for several years.
At the beginning, there's so many stores that they closed, actually, because they couldn't survive.
Some bare storefronts remain. Churros 92 is a newer business, and owner Dominic Barrios says when they opened 2 years ago, many of the storefronts were vacant.
Did the construction that was here, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, is that what hollowed out these stores?
I think 100% that's the reason why any of that happened.
Barrios says that the opening of the LRT will help bring back much of what was lost over the past several years.
So it's just nice to see that like an old part of Toronto can come back to the way it used to be.
So while the real toll of LRT delays has been felt here for these businesses, Sunday's opening can't come soon enough. So they're looking forward to an area that will become more lively, more foot traffic when the LRT gets up and running. And that does start on Sunday. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan, and I'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Sean. The Premier has ruled out the possibility of a public inquiry into the Eglinton Crosstown LRT.
The opposition has called for an inquiry amid concerns about a lack of transparency about the project from Metrolinx. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
Guys, you're beating a dead horse here. We've been going through this for years.
The Premier squashing calls for a public inquiry into what went so wrong with the Eglinton Crosstown.
I'm the first to come out and acknowledge the mistakes, but I'm not going to waste time on inquiry and all the nonsense, tie all these people up. All these people here have more subways to build.
Besides cost overruns, internal squabbling, and construction mistakes, the opposition has questions about the kind of service Torontonians are in for.
Why do we not consider signal prioritization for the Finch West LRT or now the Eglinton LRT?
With billions of taxpayer dollars out the door and a blurry picture of how we got here,
the people of Ontario deserve those answers so that we can do better.
Doug Ford and the head of Metrolinx insist lessons have been learned, applied to the Scarborough subway extension and the Ontario line.
We need contract forms to incentivize everybody to get to completion, especially when issues invariably arise.
But there are demands for an overhaul of how Metrolinx shares updates on progress and problems on existing lines. Emphasized by days of delays through Union Station after a GO train derailment.
Sometimes things go wrong. Okay, fix it. But the consistent apologies after the fact, I don't think are going to cut it.
I want to start by offering my apologies.
As passengers pleaded for more information, the Metrolinx media team declined interviews, sharing updates through email or LinkedIn.
I'd say that we've been trying to communicate to the best of our ability throughout this entire week.
A symptom of the power Queen's Park holds over Metrolinx.
Press releases are approved through the Premier's office.
I see them avoiding the questions, avoiding transparency and accountability.
A suggestion the Premier bristles at.
We are transparent, and that's a little offensive saying we aren't. 1, 2, 3.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
And after days of reduced service following Monday's derailment outside of Union Station, Metrolinx says it hopes to return to its regular schedule starting tomorrow. The transit agency says crews have been fixing rails, switches and signals, and testing was still underway today. Meanwhile, there's set to be regular subway service on lines 1 and 2 this weekend, but line 4 will be shut down all day Saturday for planned signal work. Shuttle buses will run and service will resume at 8 a.m. on Sunday.
A couple of special weather statements are warnings are in effect as the city deals with frigid temperatures and strong winds, which has prompted concerns about blowing snow.
If you look at the snow on average in February, March, April, May, we still get on average about 40 centimeters in that period, or about 40% of our annual snowfall. So we still have some snow to come, but my gosh, we've already had a year's supply plus, and this cold is unrelentless. It's absolutely getting people down. I mean, it's frigid fatigue we're suffering from, and it really has been a tough haul for sure.
Meanwhile, the city says its warming centers will remain open to help bring vulnerable people in from the cold. Additional shelter spaces are also open, and there are extended hours at daytime drop-in centers. A list of all the locations can be found on the city's website.
So let's give you a live look right now outside. This is downtown Toronto at this hour. We haven't seen lots of blowing snow because those winds are gusting. And then also snow coming down in different areas as well. And then on top of that, the extreme cold on its way back. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at our current conditions. Boy, frigid fatigue. I like that phrase. And yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I appreciate David Phillips for introducing us to that one. I might have to steal that because, yeah, we're feeling it, aren't we? We're not quite feeling the extreme cold just yet. That is coming. Right now, we are dealing with snow, blowing snow, and some squall activity, as mentioned as well. Anyone from Newmarket through Markham, south to Scarborough, seeing perhaps the heaviest snow right now. But we've also got widespread flurries. There's been blizzard-like conditions around Lake Huron, and we've got snow squall watches and warnings in place for areas to the south of Georgian Bay and in through eastern sections of Ontario. It remains a special weather statement for blowing snow here locally in the Greater Toronto area. So we're starting to see some of these winds tilt to more of a northerly flow. They're going to be very strong tonight, maybe gusting to around 80 kilometers per hour, ushering in some colder air. It's still -3 degrees right now, so that's not so bad. But overnight tonight, if you can believe it, we dropped to a low of about -17, -18 degrees, going to feel like -31 tomorrow morning. There's the cold warning that's in effect. We'll take you through the weekend forecast coming up. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. The Ontario Liberal Party is set to reveal the rules for its upcoming leadership race on Monday. Bonnie Crombie officially resigned from the top job last month after getting tepid support from members in a leadership review and the party's third-place finish in last year's election. With no official race underway, candidates haven't been able to officially declare, but Etobicoke Centre MP Ivan Baker confirmed today he will not be running. Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith said he plans to run and hopes to win the provincial seat vacated by NDP MPP Dolly Begum in Scarborough Southwest. She's running federally in the riding for the Liberals. Canada's unemployment rate dropped slightly in January to 6.5%, and that's despite the loss of about 25,000 jobs across the country.
It marks the first net loss of jobs nationwide since August of last year. CTV's Heather Wright explains what's behind the numbers.
The hits keep coming from manufacturing, especially in Ontario, the province which saw the largest number of job losses last month, according to Statistics Canada. Overall, Canada's economy lost nearly 25,000 jobs in January, while the unemployment rate fell to 6.5%, a result of fewer people looking for work. And while Alberta, Saskatchewan, as well as Newfoundland and Labrador all gained jobs, Ontario was hit hard, losing a whopping 67,000 jobs last month. That includes roughly 1,200 workers at the General Motors plant in Oshawa, Ontario, where last week the company cut one of its 3 shifts.
I think we're seeing it in the sectors that, we were expecting to see. For example, manufacturing is still suffering job losses, and we're starting to see public administration, jobs in public administration decline. And those impacts obviously more centered in Ontario.
Economists say the report is not all bad news, as the majority of job losses were in part-time jobs, while the number of full-time positions grew.
So the split of 45,000 full-time jobs being created is very good. So that kind of offsets the headline.
Underlying this jobs report, however, is persistent uncertainty.
I think tough times are here for a while yet. We need to see some resolution here, some certainty around what will be the access to U.S. consumers, so important for Canadian manufacturing.
With CUSMA, the free trade agreement with the United States and Mexico, up for review this year, many businesses holding off on hiring and investing, waiting to see the outcome of those trade talks. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The Correctional Service of Canada says there has been an increase in violence involving inmates and prison guards. The service says there were nearly 3,300 incidents reported in the last fiscal year. That represents a 45% jump since 2021-22. The Union of Canadian Correctional Officers says the drug trade within prisons has been the top factor in violence inside the facilities.
The Canadian Bar Association says a demand made by Alberta's Premier to change the process to appoint judges would compromise judicial independence. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Danielle Smith demanded more input on the selection of federal judges. She wrote the provincial government could hold back money for those appointed by Ottawa if her government didn't agree. The Canadian Bar Association said the proposal would compromise the appointment process. It adds that Smith's suggestion that courts don't reflect the values and expectations of Albertans underscores the political nature of her proposal. Federal Justice Minister Sean Fraser says he plans to maintain the current selection process. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand is in Greenland, in the capital city today, for the official opening of a Canadian consulate.
It's being welcomed as a show of solidarity for the Danish-held Arctic territory amid threats from Washington. CTV's Abigail Bimman has the latest.
This Canadian consulate was promised more than a year ago, and the Foreign Affairs Minister here to open it wouldn't directly answer when I asked her if she was concerned doing so could anger the Trump administration. And with that, the Canadian consulate in Greenland's capital is officially open.
To be able to be here when the people of Greenland are concerned and anxious is wonderful.
More than 100 people here, including members of the Coast Guard and a large number of Canadian Inuit who want to show they support Greenlanders in the face of Donald Trump's threats.
It's quite emotional. It's a great feeling. It's good to be here. Unity, Inuit, together, standing united. As Inuit, we are one people. It doesn't matter which country we're from, we're all the same.
Now, Global Affairs Canada won't let us inside to actually show you what the interior of the consulate looks like, but we know that the Government of Canada shares this building with Iceland. There are not many countries that have a consulate here in Nuuk. France is also opening one.
I say congratulations to Canada. I think it's a smart move.
Many in Greenland still feel uneasy, even though the Trump administration has backed off threats to take over. CTV News asked a retired U.S. diplomat involved in the opening of the American consulate in Nuuk during the first Trump administration whether Canada's increased presence now could anger Trump.
Well, I think it's worth it. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a move that should be taken as threatening by the United States, certainly in any way.
While the consulate was promised more than a year ago, there is still no permanent consul in place here. The Foreign Affairs Minister didn't have much to offer about that. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Nuuk, Greenland.
The White House is facing bipartisan fury after posting and then deleting a racist video depicting Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. The post, not shown here, was made on Trump's Truth Social account. The White House tells NBC News it was posted erroneously by a staffer. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt defended the video at first, saying it was from an internet meme and calling the response fake outrage. But some of that outrage came from Republicans. Senator Tim Scott posting, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. Trump has not apologized for the now removed post, and the Obamas have yet to comment.
It's been almost a week since the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie. Her family is renewing their plea for the captors to reach out after several purported ransom notes were received.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
The video was posted hours after police say they believe Guthrie is still alive. Ransom notes that were sent to several media outlets are also being investigated. The investigation is being conducted alongside the FBI, which has issued a $50,000 reward for information on the case. Officials say Guthrie was last seen January 31st, having dinner with family before being dropped back home. She was reported missing the next day. While some preliminary events have already been taking place, tonight marked the official kickoff of the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games.
Opening ceremony festivities took place at several sites across northern Italy. CTV's Scott Hurst is following all of the action.
More than 200 Canadian athletes are stepping onto the world stage, led by flag bearers Quebec's Michael Kingsbury and BC's Marielle Thompson, both athletes previous Olympic champions, as Canada's team eyes more podium appearances. The opening ceremony is a stunning display of culture and sport, with the host nation always mixing in its own flavor, and Italy sure has a rich history to show off as Milano Cortina welcomes the world. And for the first time in Olympic history, the ceremony takes place across multiple venues in separate cities in a widespread yet unified event, with San Siro Olympic Stadium in Milan serving as the central hub.
They'll emphasize Italy, naturally. Music, dance, arts, they have a lot to work with.
Even before the pomp and ceremony to officially kick off 17 days of sport and spectacle, Canadian athletes have already begun making their mark. Quebec's Francis Jobin soaring into the big air final. He'll have a shot at the podium on Saturday in his Olympic debut. The husband and wife mixed doubles curling team of Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant are now 3-1, winning their first 3 matches before falling to the Americans. And Canadians sit 5th after day 1 of the Olympic figure skating team event. The competition kicks into high gear tomorrow with the first medals being awarded. And after the first match was postponed on Thursday, the Canadian women's hockey team will begin its pursuit of back-to-back Olympic gold medals. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And Scott mentioned that opening ceremony took place across several venues. And as CTV's Heather Butts reports, that same setup will also define the athletic competition at this year's Games.
Meeting this crew from the Netherlands, already a highlight for Ontario's Marga Wilson during her Olympic experience.
Bucket list, definitely. To see all the different athletes from all the different countries is so exciting.
The Olympic motto, after all, is about celebrating the unifying power of sport.
I'm hoping Canada goes gold, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you met some Czech hockey player at the airport yesterday. So you did wish him luck, but secretly he said not too much luck.
A unique aspect of these games is how spread out the events are. Organizers wanted to use existing infrastructure as much as possible, but this means no central hub.
It's missing a little bit of snow, to be honest. Canada would be better to host them, but it's nice to be in the city. I feel like in the mountains it'll feel like more of the Winter Olympics.
I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more like fan zones here. And I didn't quite see that, but maybe they're just spread out more through like Cortina and Livigno, so we'll see.
Competitions are taking place all over northern Italy, making this the most widespread Olympic sports setup in history. The Games will span over 22,000 square kilometers. A trip between Milan and Cortina could take upwards of 6 hours. It means not all of Team Canada's athletes will be in the same village or region throughout the Games.
You know, giving a high five to an athlete in another sport, or even the gentle smile when you're under such pressure, can make a huge difference.
Olympic champion and Canada's chef de mission Jennifer Heil admits it will be a different experience, but the team is turning to technology with video chats and highlight reels to help unite them.
I think there's a trade-off between, you know, the positive and the negative. I think for the Olympic movement, it's very positive that we're going to venues that already exist that make it more sustainable and easier to host.
The last time Italy hosted the Winter Games in Turin 2006, medal ceremonies were held in the center of the city each day, creating a buzz, adding to the Olympic spirit. Because of the distance, this year, medal ceremonies will be held at the venues following the competitions. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
And people in the city can cheer on Team Canada from Nathan Phillips Square this weekend. Several Canadian athletes will be on hand for Fan Fest.
It's going to be an opportunity for everyone to come together and cheer together, right? And there is something really special about experiencing the games in that way, to feel everyone side by side cheering on Canada. So there'll be opportunities to watch the different events in different locations there. And there's also an ice rink, and there'll be different opportunities for demonstrations and yeah, the Skate Canada, Hockey Canada, curling, speed skating, they're all going to be doing demonstrations.
Fan Fest events will run from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. In addition to live broadcasts of the events, there will be a number of free public skating events.
Still to come, longtime Blue Jays announcer Buck Martinez has announced his retirement. We'll have more on the end of his broadcasting career when we return.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, they are products that are part of our daily lives: shampoos, deodorants, and cosmetics. While the vast majority of these items are safe to use, there is concern that some contain chemicals that could be a health concern. All of that story, that's just ahead.
So tonight it's about the snow and the very gusty winds, but tomorrow morning especially, it is all about this cold and these biting wind chills. With it feeling like minus 30, it is worth pointing out that frostbite rates, exposed skin at that rate can freeze in as little as 10 minutes. So do make sure that you take care this weekend. Signs of a bit of a midweek warm up next week. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast coming up. And stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Most of us don't think twice about using shampoo, deodorants, or lotions, as many of these products are part of our daily lives.
But all these things contain chemicals, and some of them could have substances that may cause serious side effects. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Zarida and Nathan. An Ontario court fined the cosmetics company Estee Lauder $750,000 after a forever chemical was found in its eyeliner products. While most health and beauty items we buy are safe, it's recommended we check labels for things that could be harmful. Shampoos, lotions, makeup, we lather, rub, and apply them every day without a second thought.
So the cosmetics industry uses thousands of chemicals in the products we put on our bodies every day.
The biggest concern is something called forever chemicals, which don't break down easily. Cosmetics Alliance Canada says there are safety concerns when they show up in health and beauty products.
Forever chemicals are ones that have a long life in the environment, which gives everyone some concern about what did they do in the long term.
While most items face strict labeling regulations, it doesn't mean all ingredients are thoroughly reviewed for safety before they hit store shelves.
Just by looking at labels, we know that concerning ingredients show up again and again in the products we find in stores.
Consumer Reports says to check ingredient labels for fragrance, which often means a product contains phthalates, and to buy products that are paraben-free and formaldehyde-free.
These chemicals can cause serious health issues, everything from reproductive harm to an increased risk of cancer.
And PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, can show up in waterproof long-wear makeup, and some have been linked to serious health concerns. And coal tar dyes used in some hair dyes and cosmetics can cause skin reactions and may raise cancer risk with occupational exposure. So what can you do? Keep it simple, read labels, choose products that say they're free of these ingredients, and avoid counterfeit cosmetics.
Because by their nature, they're not regulated at all. And they, from time to time, come up in the marketplace. And one thing we always remind consumers, if the deal looks too good to be true, it probably isn't a true product.
Health and beauty items can be expensive. Researchers suggest swapping out products, starting with the ones you use most, and replace them gradually, one at a time. And buying products from reputable retailers can reduce the risk of contaminated or counterfeit products. Items labeled organic or natural may offer peace of mind, but there's no guarantee they don't contain harmful chemicals. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, it's Friday. We're getting close to the weekend, but it seems like every weekend there's something going on.
I know. Well, the weather's going on today. We're getting a little bit of everything, and then overnight tonight, and then tomorrow. I think I'm staying indoors.
Yeah, you know what? I think a few people have the same idea. It might be one of those hibernation weekends for so many, and for good reason. This is dangerous cold that we're talking about into tomorrow morning. For some, it's going to be the coldest air of the season so far, which is saying something considering it's been pretty cold so far this winter. Let's take a live look outside right now to show you the fact that we've got snow in parts of the GTA. At this point, it's not the amount of snow falling, it's the winds associated with the flurries and also a squall line making its way through southern Ontario. I'll remind you of the fact that blowing snow isn't necessarily falling and accumulating snow. It's the winds picking up the snow that's already on the ground, carrying it across roadways and reducing visibility. We've got a pretty heavy little band of snow now just to the east of Oshawa, right along the 401 corridor, moving toward downtown Toronto. We've got a little bit of heavier snow too. And then Barrie south to Bradford, the snow is falling at this hour. We'll widen things out too to show you there had been a little bit of blizzard activity or concerns of it to the south of Lake Huron. That area is going to see a little more in the way of lake effect snow for tomorrow, but again, not much more in the way of accumulation for most areas. A little more in through eastern sections of Ontario. That's where we find snow squall watches, warnings. The warnings are starting to come to an end now, which is great. But we remain under a special weather statement here in the GTA for blowing snow. There's a blowing snow advisory for areas west of here. And then the areas in purple, that's where there's concern about these very strong winds and reduced visibility, leading to a blizzard warning. So northwest winds gusting to maybe near 80 kilometers per hour later on today. The winds are going to be with us into tomorrow as well. It's not going to be one of those days where it's still but cold. That will be more so into Sunday. You'll notice that conditions are fairly calm on the forecast radar, which is a good thing. We'll also enjoy some sunshine this weekend. But yes, it is still going to be windy tomorrow when we might get a little bit of blowing snow as a result of that. Still -3 degrees at Pearson. We're hanging on until that cold front finally slices through. Hard to believe we're going to drop this dramatically, but we're forecasting an overnight low of -17, -18 degrees around Toronto. It's going to feel like -34 at the coldest point of the night in Peterborough, and waking up tomorrow morning in Parry Sound Sound, it's going to feel like -35. So no surprise that Environment Canada issued this cold warning, which will be in place at least until Sunday morning, I assume. Tomorrow's daytime temperature, -13 degrees in Toronto. Now, that would actually be cold for an overnight low at this time of year. It's going to feel like -23 tomorrow afternoon. So if you're not hibernating, you are venturing out, perhaps you love winter, I commend you for that. Just make sure you're dressed appropriately because the risk of frostbite is going to be there throughout the day. Sunday, little bit of an improvement temperature-wise. -10 is our forecast high. Cloudy skies through next week with the chance of flurries, but I just want to draw your attention to Wednesday. We could climb all the way to 0. It's been a little while since we've had a temperature around there. We're going to cross our fingers at this point. That's the weather for now. Nathan, I'll send it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Longtime Blue Jays announcer Buck Martinez has announced he'll be leaving the broadcast booth. Martinez joined the Jays as a player in 1981 and spent his final 6 seasons in the big leagues as a backup catcher for the club. He also managed the team in 2001 and part of the 2002 season. The 77-year-old was diagnosed with cancer in 2022 and took a leave of absence from April to July that year while receiving treatment. Martinez called more than 4,000 games over his more than 40-year broadcasting career. In a statement, Martinez said, after conversations with his wife, it was time to pass the torch.
Still to come, it's where culture, faith, and creativity come together. And like our universe, there are no limits. We take you to a new art exhibit after the break. Social media giant TikTok is facing charges from the European Union's tech watchdog.
Regulators are alleging the company breached online content rules by creating dangerously addictive features. TikTok's algorithm is driven by its understanding of a user's interests and what's likely to keep them watching. Now, it's helped lead to the app's popularity around the world, but the European Commission's charges say the highly personalized content feed, combined with infinite scrolling, autoplay, and push notifications, is leading to compulsive use. The regulator says TikTok has failed to incorporate measures like screen time management and parental controls to mitigate potential harms to the physical and mental well-being of its users. TikTok rejected the EU charges and said it will challenge them.
Some Taylor Swift fans are getting an early look at her newest music video. That's Swift's song Opalite. It's the second from her album, The Life of a Showgirl, to get a music video. But at the moment, it's only available to view on some music streaming services. Swift shared some images from the shoot, showing her alongside actor Domhnall Gleeson, fellow singer Lewis Capaldi, and TV show host Graham Norton, among other special guests. The video will be shared publicly on Sunday.
And as people around the world get ready for Super Bowl Sunday, many will be tuning in just to watch Bad Bunny's halftime show. The Puerto Rican superstar spoke about how the performance comes during an exciting time in his career.
I'm still at middle of my tour. I just was at the Grammys last week.
And at those Grammys, Bad Bunny took home 3 awards, including Album of the Year. Despite his popularity, some Americans are upset. An outspoken Trump critic says will be taking the stage and performing exclusively in Spanish. It's not clear what effect that'll have on viewership. Bad Bunny was Spotify's most streamed artist last year.
One of the Toronto Zoo's superb owls is predicting who will win the Super Bowl. Okay, so Butters, a great horned owl, is picking the Patriots to beat the Seahawks, the underdogs, when the teams hit the field at Levi Stadium in California. And of course, you can see if his prediction will come true by tuning into the Super Bowl 60 on CTV, TSN, or stream it on Crave, starting at 6 p.m. on Sunday.
A Scarborough artist is making his debut at the Art Gallery of Ontario with a new large-scale art exhibit.
It features 3 new sculptures highlighting Sikh history in a contemporary art form. CTV's Jessica Smith has more.
No Limits by Scarborough-based artist Ranbir Sidhu is where culture and arts collide.
And really it's about
the faith and knowledge and connecting that together with the aspects of Sikhism.
Making his debut at the Art Gallery of Ontario, Sadhu's exhibition is a large-scale display of the blend of the world around him and self-expression.
The meaning around No Limits comes from, the universe and the self and the way form connects a language between the two.
The 3 large-scale pieces titled Asteroid, Odyssey, and Fortress of Memory, all molded, shaped, bent, and cut from stainless steel.
I choose stainless steel because of its ability to refract light, distort, and also it's a very challenging material to work with.
Designed to be interpreted in your own way by everyone who comes through the exhibition.
It really opened up my heart. It was a beautiful experience to see such talent, to see such joy.
For the homegrown artist bringing his work, some of the pieces 20 years in the making to the AGO is a full circle moment.
Coming here as a child and, walking, these same galleries, it's really a dream come true and, a stepping stone to what's to come in the future.
One grand creation at a time. Blending together the idea of culture, technology, and the idea of futurism, No Limits by Ranbir Sadhu has something for everyone. The exhibition will be here at the AGO until January of 2027. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
And you're watching CTV News at 6. We've got more news after the break. Stay with us.
Some federal workers are pushing back against an order which would see them return to the office 4 days a week.
I just find this just insulting and disrespectful to be doing this to public servants after everything we've gone through the past few months.
Workers are expected to be on site 4 days a week by July 6th under the expanded return to office mandate. That's up from 3 days a week right now. Executives will be required to be at the office 5 days a week. The Federal Workers Union says the change will not improve productivity. Questions are also being raised about whether there will be enough office space for employees to return.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
As it prepares for the opening of the Eglinton Crosstown, the TTC is facing questions after a potential privacy breach this morning. Several users posted on social media saying they received an email clearly showing the names and email addresses of several hundred other recipients. The TTC says it's still confirming how many people were affected, but it includes subscribers who signed up for alerts about service changes linked to the launch of Line 5 on Sunday. An agency spokesperson said in part, the TTC experienced a technical error this morning that resulted in some TTC e-alert subscribers' email addresses being visible to others on the distribution list. No other personal information was disclosed. We take this incident very seriously and sincerely apologize for the error. The TTC said it's contacting those affected and taking steps to ensure it doesn't happen again.
Still to come, getting into the Olympic spirit. We'll have more on a local school staging a miniature version of the Winter Games when we return.
Tonight, we're in Quebec City for the world's largest winter festival.
To every carnival goers, every tourist here in Quebec, a happy carnival!
Why this year's celebration carries extra meaning. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
A Toronto elementary school got into the Olympic spirit today, hosting its very own version of the competition.
CTV multimedia journalist Corey Baird got a first-hand look at the mini Olympics.
There's more than one path to the podium, and all roads are bound to feature a few bumps along the way. This is Lambton Park Community School's Mini Olympics. Some of the sports may look a little different.
3, 2, 1.
And some aren't really Olympic sports at all. But the spirit of competition, especially in this version of ice fishing, rivaled the real thing.
That's my fish. That's my fish.
The stakes were high. These game faces don't lie.
The training was very hard. Like, we trained almost every single day for, all day. So hard.
The Olympics always feature controversy, so naturally, the Mini Olympics had mini controversies.
There was a couple minor hiccups.
Ugh, what a time for an equipment malfunction.
so slippery. It felt real, and it was really realistic.
Like a true champion, he handled adversity with grace.
It was really fun. It was a great experience. I got it for winning.
These medals may not lead to lucrative endorsements and probably no cereal box covers either. The love of the games or mini games, that's what it's all about.
We all love the Winter Olympics.
Corey Baird, CTV News, Toronto.
See, I think I'd be good in that Olympics.
Would you? You would get a medal?
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about this chilly weather. Lots to do this weekend,
Yeah.
right? If you're not going to head out, you can watch the Olympics. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes, and you know what? The weather is a little bit warmer where the Super Bowl is going to be happening. Maybe not terribly warm, but here's a look at the forecast for Santa Clara, California. Yeah, 18 degrees on the plus side. Sounds pretty good right now, doesn't it? Mix of sun and cloud as well. We're going to be minus 18 degrees overnight tonight. And yes, we do still have some snow out there. One more look at the blowing snow advisories, snow squall watches and warnings, and a blizzard warning. And if that's not enough, we've also got a cold warning widespread across southern Ontario. It is going to be a cold weekend, but a reminder, it looks like conditions do improve a little bit as we make our way through the middle part of next week. But we're also going to watch for the chance of flurries returning. Just stay warm this weekend. Zoraida and Nathan.
I like that big zero there on Wednesday.
Me too.
Look forward to that. Okay, thanks, Lindsay. Be sure to join Omar Sachedina for tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you at 11:30.